Hello everyone and thanks for tuning in again to the Belgian Beer Brothers channel. Cedric here in Antwerp, and today we're going to do another brewery breakdown. And today's breakdown is a bit of a surprise one, or at least it was to me, because when I ask anyone to name me their favorite Spanish beer, chances are that it's going to be one of Estrella Damm, Mahou, San Miguel, Cruzcampo. Well, today we're talking about San Miguel, and here's a surprise. It's not Spanish at all. Well, it is now, sort of, part of it, but it was actually founded by a group of Spaniards in the Philippines, which, to be fair, already had a dark Spanish past, but that was a few hundred years before that. So, the story goes as follows. On any given day in 1890, Enrique Maria Barreta got to talking with his friends in the pub, and they draw this conclusion like beer isn't very well known in Asia and it should be popular there, so what if we traveled there and start a brewery? And so they did. So right there on the spot they founded La Fábrica de Cerveza San Miguel, and they took off. Now bear in mind that this is 1890 and the Wright brothers' first successful flight was in 1903. So there was no air traffic, no commercial or otherwise. And to travel from Spain all the way to the Philippines was quite the trip. Now they made that trip, and on arrival they built a brewery in Manila, in a borough not coincidentally called San Miguel, and these days it's called Cebu. The inauguration also took place on Dia de San Miguel, or St. Michael's Day, so hence the name. There are a lot of links. With the presentation of San Miguel Pale Pilsen, which is the oldest Filipino beer. So San Miguel Brewery was born. Now, the group was quite ambitious, and about a decade later, in 1903 to be exact, they set out to Guam, Hong Kong and Shanghai. These are three of the largest ports back in that time, but they still are, and a large port mainly means exciting nightlife, so beer seemed in its place there. And that was of course a smart move. They were so successful that the company kept on growing and growing, and they renamed the company to San Miguel Brewery Inc. to get that more international standing in 1913. It kept growing so much that in 1930 they turned their eyes on the rest of the world, starting with the US of A. Again, a success story. Now, by the 1940s, San Miguel was the most well-drunk beer in the world, or in most of Asia, and they weren't doing too bad in the States either. Hell, the Philippines Historical Committee even installed a marker in Manila to honor the San Miguel Brewery, so they did pretty good. At that time, they'd achieved pretty much all they could achieve in Asia, and the logical next step was actually to return home and take their chances in Spain. Now, of course, this was the next generation because we are 50 years later. But after all, they had always been brewing according to the traditional European methods and with top quality ingredients, so why wouldn't the Spaniards like their beer? And in 1954 they set sail to Spain again. This took some time, but in 1957 they opened their new facility in Lleida. That is quite a large city between Barcelona and Zaragoza, and right on the border of Catalonia and Aragon. It's here and now that they brewed the Especial for the first time with local malted barley in the form of Pilsner and slightly roasted malts and French hops, and San Miguel Especial is the one that we all know now here in Europe. Only a year later, they immediately won several awards with their Especial, and it grew to become a whole beer style in Spain. A bit like we have Special Belge, they have the Especial, a Special Pilsner. By the time the 60s arrived, San Miguel is well known and widespread, and even competes with the renowned French, Belgian and German beers in the high society and in the capital cities. In 1963, San Miguel had grown to become the Philippines' largest business conglomerate. They had core interests in alcoholic and non-alcoholic beverages, food and packaging, so the whole shebang. The name San Miguel Brewery Inc. didn't quite cover it anymore, so they changed names again, and this time to San Miguel Corporation or SMC. However, they did keep the San Miguel Brewery Inc. name as their beer division, and comes a bit woozy here. They have changed names and divisions and companies several times, but they kept that in Asia because the Spanish branch was sold off to Mahou in 2000 to form Grupo Mahou San Miguel and become Spain's largest beer company. Now, this video will be long enough as it is, so let's focus on the Mahou side later on when we explore the Mahou beers, which will be in a few weeks, because I do have some Mahou in stock here. But back to San Miguel. In modern times, San Miguel Spain didn't stop innovating. While in the late 1990s low alcohol beers are seeing the light of day, the 0.4% is not low enough for San Miguel, and they go for absolute zero. They actually managed to make a 0.0% ABV beer in 2001 to compete with the not really non-alcoholic beers. And 2 years later they also launched Miguel 1516 following the Reinheitsgebot, hence the 1516 name. And Spain's first organic beer in that same year, the San Miguel Eco, surfing along on that whole sustainability wave. Now, over the years, San Miguel did become more and more Spanish by mindset, not necessarily by ownership. And with the rise of Radler, let's face it, it's a warm country, and like it or not, but Radler is refreshing. San Miguel didn't miss that bus either. So in 2018 they launched their very own San Miguel Radler, but they produced it in a, let's say, a more Spanish way, by mixing their flagship beer, San Miguel Especial, with fresh lemon juice instead of any generic beer with syrup. And of course, they did compete with the German Radlers back then. San Miguel really did grow to become a powerful conglomerate, and even though Japanese brewery Kirin, think of Kirin Ichiban if you've ever saw that, acquired a 48% interest in San Miguel's beer division in 2007. San Miguel Corporation, or SMC, swiftly bought it back, and in 2010 they regained 100% ownership of their companies. Finally, in 2017, the name changed again and again and again and again to San Miguel Pure Foods Company Inc. Merely for legal reasons, because after a huge switcheroo in shares and stuff among their own companies, they consolidated all the San Miguel food-related companies under San Miguel Food and Beverage Inc. They currently operate 5 breweries in the Philippines and 5 breweries in the rest of Asia, and they do brew a myriad of other beers next to the San Miguel brand. Meanwhile, San Miguel Corporation still exists in the Philippines and rakes in revenues that are about 5 to 7% of the Philippines' GDP. Over the years, or many years, more like decades, they diversified their portfolio, and next to food and beverage and packaging, they added, hold on, energy, fuel, oil, aviation, car distribution, infrastructure, telecommunication, property development, cement, mining, and banking services to the list. But I draw the line at the breweries. So, technically, the San Miguel we know here in Europe is Spanish since 2020. But the whole history of the company takes place in the Philippines and in Asia. It is still a huge Asian company. Yeah, what can I say? But we are drinking Spanish beer. So, if you like this video, let me know, hit the thumbs up, subscribe if you want to see more. You'll get notified if you hit the bell icon. And tomorrow we will be tasting one of San Miguel's most modern beer, the San Miguel Yakima Valley IPA. Bet you can't guess where those hops come from. I'll see you guys tomorrow, and yeah, see you then. Cheers.